Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching my video. This is about Trello and how I use it on a day-to-day basis, how it's kind of made me more productive and given me more time in the day. I've been saying that I do one for a while, so I've finally got around to doing it. So I'm going to do this with the idea in mind that you'll already have some kind of idea of Trello, so I'm not going to go into the very basics, and I'll link down a video down below so that you can check it out if you've not got to that stage yet. So I'm going on the basis that you already kind of know what you're doing a little bit, you've got the boards, and then you just want to work out a better way to use it maybe. So as you can see here, these are my personal boards down here, and you can't move them around unless you star them for some reason. So anyway, I've got 12 here starred at the top, and then you can kind of move them around into the order that makes most sense for you. So I'm just going to go into a couple today, just to kind of talk you through how I plan, how I focus my mind, and how I get more done in the day. So to start off at the beginning of the week, I use my weekly plan board, and this is what it looks like. So you can see on the left hand side I have personal to do, general work to do, current week, today, and then the done column, and this is Butler, which I will explain in a minute. So what I do is anything that I think of that I need to add to my personal or my general work to do list, I add on these two lists here. And then at the beginning of the week, I move anything over to the current week that needs getting done that week. Then what I do is as the day before, or usually at the beginning of the week, I put stuff in the today column and it might get carried over to the end of the week, but at least I know kind of what I need to do at that time, what's my current, most important things that I need to do. So I move stuff over to the today board then, and I've got a list here. And then what I do is, so that for me, I still find this too complicated. There's too much going on and I kind of can't really see how long stuff's going to take me, what stuff I really need to do the most. So what I do is use a tool called Butler for Trello, and this essentially it enables you to give a trigger and then a response, and it kind of is able to sync your boards and automate loads of stuff so that you don't end up spending more time working on a productivity tool than you're actually saving. So I'm going to show you briefly what Butler's all about, and again I'm not going to go into the real basics, so I will link to another video that's really good on everything to do with Butler for Trello, because there's so much you could do with it. But this is the command builder where you, like I was saying, you have a trigger and an action. So on the left hand side here, you can see you choose what your trigger is, whether it's something you want to schedule, your due date, when this is added to a board, and then you want to choose what you do with it. So I'm just going to show you what I do to sync from my weekly board to my daily board to plan out my day. So we want to add it to a list. So you choose when a card is added to list, and then you put the list name. So the list name is today. That's the today board on my weekly plans list, on my weekly plan board. So as you can see, if you click on that there, I'm just going to delete this bit, backspace, delete that. Let's start again. Okay. What I want to say here is when a card is added to the list today, so that's the board that I want to copy it from, I'm going to select this bit here, I want to copy the card to the list waiting on the daily plan board. And the reason I put waiting there is I have a waiting list on a board that I want to sync to, so that once you synced it there, it's there waiting for you, ready to kind of do what you need with it. So that's my command there. So when a card is added to the list today, I want to copy it to the list waiting on the board daily plan. But what I also want to do is I want to attach them so that they kind of work together. So I'm going to add another action here, and I'm going to go back this way, and I am going to link the two cards as an attachment. So here is my little piece of copy. So you have to then copy that to your Butler list on the board that you need it to go on. So here I want it to go right in here. All you do is you copy and paste it in there. And once you've done that, you should get a big green tick if it's worked, and that's it. And then also your Butler bot here will say, I've understood that, makes sense, no errors. So now here's the moment of truth. Let's just delete this quickly because we don't need that, and I don't want it to copy twice. I was just showing you how it works. So we're going to do a little test. I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm going to add some labels to it, just whatever comes to mind there. And what should happen when I pull this one over to my day board is that it should sync now to my daily board and come up on the left hand side. So let's have a look if that's worked. Yay, yes it has. There we go. It's on the left hand side, so you can see that's worked. So I'm just going to archive that. But as you can see, so this is my daily plan board now. I'm just going to reload that there. My server's not really working so well today. Right, so this is my daily plan board. So this is how I get through the day, how I work out if I've got too much on, if I've given myself too much to do. But also it's really great if, you know, I don't have big blocks of time. I sometimes have like 5 minutes there, or, you know, 60 minutes maybe when the kids have a nap. So it's a really great way to manage your time and to check kind of, you know, that you're on top of everything. So the night before, so at the moment it's the end of the day. I'm filming this at the end of the day, and I've not actually moved anything over to my done list, even though I have done things. I just haven't got around to it yet. So usually what I would do is I would have everything come onto the left hand side, and then I would move things over into the right columns. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you what I would do at this point. So I've packed orders today, so I'm going to move that to my done column. I did clean because we had someone come to see the house, so I had to clean. Sucks, doesn't it? I haven't done that, but I have done that, and I have done that, and I have done that. So that's exciting. I have not done that, but I have done this. Okay, so, and I have done this one. So then there's some things, so for example, this one I started, but this is an ongoing thing. So I'll put that in. So say tomorrow I want to do 60 minutes worth of this. So now what I'm doing is so it's the end of the day. And so now I'm planning this board for tomorrow. So I will move stuff into these areas as it needs to go. So I'm going to move, so it's, I did actually do bin day in the end. It's not bin day tomorrow. Okay. So I'm going to upload the printables to my printables page. That's going to take me probably 60 minutes. I'm going to say I need to write a blog post, and I need to start completing some branding questions. And then I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, actually, within that day, there's no way I'm going to have enough time to do all that work. So I've got the kids all day. So actually, maybe I'll only do 30 minutes of that, and I'll try and get as much done of these as I possibly can. What I also do, so often I'll have, like, you know, lots of little 5-minute jobs as well, which is great because if you're sitting down and you've got a 5 minutes free, you can just go straight to your list and see exactly what needs doing. That's what I've found so helpful about this kind of this time chunk method of working, is that you can fit it around your kind of daily life and how much time you've got available. Okay, so I'm just going to show you here what I do also. So there's some here, so I've moved over. Usually as I go through the day I move things over. I don't usually do it at the end of the day like this. But with pack orders and my daily quick clean checklist, which if I go in quickly, just has like a kind of rough overview of what I need to do each day to make sure that it stays reasonably tidy in my house. I actually move these back in, so I don't actually usually file those, because what I do is I move them back in for the next day. So that kind of they're there, so I don't have to keep creating new cards. You can automate it in Butler, but I haven't. I find it really simple to just move them back to where they need to go. So I am now planned for the next day. I've got everything set up. If I think of something during the day, what I'll do is I'll add it onto my weekly plan board, onto the today board, and then it will show up here on the left hand side, and I can allocate it to a different chunk of time. So there's a couple of extra things I'm going to show you really quickly on here. So the one thing is this little box here, the MIT. So you can add in labels like this. You can add in any color. You can kind of change the words on them. And MIT stands for most important task. And this is a productivity tip that I learned a few years ago. And this has really helped me, because it means that you can look instantly and see what stuff do I have to get done today. So obviously I was meant to do this today, but never mind. So with this, the MIT one, I choose 2 to 3 to 4 things each day that are my most important tasks. So for tomorrow, it will be to pack orders, it will be this one, and this is a must do for tomorrow as well. So I'm going to add that as my most important. So I can see there what my most important things are to do for tomorrow. The other thing I'm just going to quickly draw your attention to is, you can see here the stuff that I've put in the done category. It doesn't just stay there, so because I have a little Butler thing here which says every day at 2 AM archive all the cards in the list done. So when I wake up in the morning, I know I'm usually done by 2 AM. So when I wake up in the morning, all of this bit will be gone, and I'll kind of have a fresh board only with the stuff I need to do that day. And the other thing here is because we did that little linking thing with the Butler and linking them as attachment, because that's where they've come from, what you can do then is add another command here that says, so when a card is moved into list done, so when I move this to there, for example, when it's moved into list done, find the first card linked in the attachments and move the card to the list done on the board weekly plan. So when I go back to my weekly plan list, it's then moved everything over. So what's really handy about that is you don't have to do more work. You just do it once and it all ends up in the right place. And then at the end of the week, so I leave my done stuff in there for the whole week, and then kind of give it a brief look back on at the end of the week to just check if there's anything that I maybe haven't completely finished or anything like that. But then at the end of a week, so every Monday morning at 2 a.m, I archive all the cards in this list done here, so that my kind of week is clear again. So that's how I use it. I can't think of anything else there really. There is so much stuff that you can do with Trello and with Butler. There's so many things that you can automate just to make your life quicker. It does take a few hours to set up, but I think it's really worth the extra time to spend a little bit of time kind of working on it and making sure it works for you, because what's the point of doing it if you end up spending more time doing it? Then it's not really very productive, is it now? So those are the main things I wanted to go through, and then really quickly I had someone ask me about what extensions to use for Chrome, because there are some great ones. So I'm just going to show you really quickly. I'm just going to have to move my screen over. Hold on one second. Okay, so I've just moved over the screen so you can see my extensions over here on the right hand side. So they're all, apart from this one, are all Trello ones here. So I'm just going to go through them. So there's a couple which you might notice which are blanked out here. So these two are really, really handy. So the first one is called card color titles for Trello. So you can see it takes it from that being just that plain line to add in the name in. And I think that is so, so useful. So that's a really simple one. You just add it to Chrome and that comes up just here. That's that one there. So that adds those little tags on there. It adds the name to it. The other one that you can see here is the card counter as well, so it just helps to have a little card counter on there, I think, and that's this one here. So card counter for Trello, and I'll link these all below so that you can easily find them if you want to add them on. The next one that I thought I would talk about is called Ultimello, and this one has a few different things it can do. It can connect cards. It's in like the early testing phase of it, so I don't use it for that, but what I do use it for, I'll show you in here. So this is Ultimello here, is that it can rearrange the sorting of the cards, so if you want to rearrange them because they're in a set order on Trello, and you can also add a card count, but what's great is being able to actually sort your lists out. So if I go back into one of the boards, so here you can see this little arrow comes up. So actually you can't see it here, but if you go just here, the little arrow comes up, and you can sort them by due date, title, votes, labels, and I find it really helpful to sort by labels. So especially if you've got you can configure it to sort it by a certain one. So if I say I want to sort it by the black one, and I want to sort it not ascending but descending, I can then put my most important tasks at the top. So that's quite handy as well. What's the next one? So after Ultimello, it's this one, which is Web Clipper for Trello, which is really handy. That's this one here. And all this does is that whatever page you're on the web, it will send that straight as a board, as a card, sorry, to whichever board you like. So you can choose which one to put it on, and which list to put it on within that board. So say I wanted to put this, I don't know, so say I just wanted to put it on my today list, you can then add the title in here. Description is automatically added in for that web page. So when you create that card, so you then want to go and view it, and this is how it comes up. So you can see it's got an attachment in it straight away, so when you click through to it, it takes you straight back to where you were. It's just really handy if you're marking your place, and you know, you want to close down some tabs or remember where you are, whatever. Okay, and so finally is boards for Trello, and this one, this is really handy. I usually have Trello open anyway, but if you don't, and if you like having lots of, you know, just a couple of tabs open, unlike me who has 100. You can easily just find the board you want really quickly, and it just takes you straight there. So that's really handy as well. And that one's just called Boards for Trello. So I'll link these all down in the description below. And before I go, there was just one more thing I was going to say, is that one of the things I really love about Trello is the ease in which you can add cards. So you can link it up with so many different things that you don't just have to kind of be on a desktop to use it. You can download the app on your phone, you can take screenshots, which is what I did here. I took a screenshot on my phone, and then you can, from your phone, you can link it to your app and say, send it straight to Trello, and it adds it as a card. So that's really great because it's really simple. You can take screenshots and then add it as a card. You can even, if you get an email through from wherever, from in your Gmail or whatever your webmail provider is, you can then actually get the, I'll show you here, you can actually get your email address for a board. And you see here, so if you go to email to board settings, this gives you the email address for that board. And what you can then do, which is really cool, is you can add that into your contacts on your email system. And you can, if you get an email that you know you need to get back to someone on, you can just email it, you can just forward it straight onto the board, and you can even say forward it onto the board and add these different tags, and it just sends it straight to your board straight away. So they've made it really, really easy to sync up with so many different things that it's just, yeah, it's just brilliant. I absolutely love it. There was one more thing I was going to say. The other thing it links up with is Siri. So you can link up with Siri on your phone, and you're walking along, say you're on a walk with a dog, you're dropping the kids at school, and you have this idea. You don't want to stop and put it on your phone. All you need to do is bring up Siri and say, Siri, add this to list today on my weekly plans board, and it'll add it like that as a card. How amazing is that? So those are my top tips on using Trello to kind of increase your productivity and get more out of your day. And just one last thing to say, if you want me to show you how I use any of the others, how I use it for my Facebook groups, and how I kind of take control of what I'm posting in there, for my blog content, blog development, anything like that, if you want me to have a look through any of those and give any more ideas, then please just let me know in the comments below, and I hope you liked the video. Sorry it's so long. Sorry about that. Right, thank you. Bye.